learning from detours of life. God takes all of us in different situations, different experiences of life, which we have not really expected it to happen. And when we are confronted with detours of life, there are several emotions that emerge in our life, like anxiety, anger, frustration, doubts, disappointment. We are broken, worried, and frustrated when such things happen. What is detour? It's a deviation from the direct or usual way. You have thought about a plan, but all of a sudden you see it's not going according to your plan. Things are messed up. Why God allows detours in life? The first reason, the path we are about to cross is unsafe. God is all-knowing God. He knows that if you take this way, it is dangerous for you, very harmful for your soul. It's very dangerous for your relationships with God and also with people. You may be lost for eternity from Him. He doesn't want to lose you. That's His primary concern. That is why God deliberately brings those blocks. Sometimes there is a great danger when there is a roadblock, but when you still try to move ahead, you still try to force your way into it, that can be very dangerous for you. God will let you go. And perhaps the plan of God, which God has for your life, you may never come back to that. We have to learn from all those things. Psalm 119, verse 71. He's saying, those afflictions, problems, those challenges in my life did not take me away from you. It has drawn me closer to you, Lord. It's good. Job, this man of God who has faced afflictions, I don't know anybody on the earth face anything like that. But at the end, chapter 42, verse 5 and 6, at the end of the whole journey of this episode in his life, he's saying, oh, why I was angry with God, reasoning with God, doubting God. Now I know very clearly this detour was for my good. Now I see with my eyes. The second thing, He wants us to experience life we would not have chosen on our own initiative. The Lord allows you to go through that so that you may have a fresh experience of His grace, power, presence, and His truth more and more in our life, so that we can have those things which we really need for our journey. But if you complain, rebel, if you get hard-hearted, you will never experience that. John chapter 4, verses 1 to 4. Jesus is going from Galilee to Jerusalem. Normal route for every Jew to go. There is a highway which bypasses Samaria. Jew would not want to go through Samaria. They didn't like Samaritans. But verse 4, He had to pass through Samaria deliberately, because this sinful woman would never have met Jesus if He had not gone through that way. Not only this woman, the whole town came to the Lord. The third reason is that we are not yet ready to get to our destination. He allows those detours in our life so that you may mature more. He wants to take you to that path which will build your faith, which will build your trust in the Lord. That's where you will find your calling. Moses had a desire in his heart to deliver the people of Israel from slavery. How did he approach initially? With his own muscles. It was a big, big failure. Fleshly ways are never God's way. There was a detour in the life of Moses for 40 years. 40 years now he is being trained. He's been equipped for what? When you walk in the desert, how to listen to God. Detours are not to destroy you. Detours is to develop you more into His plan. When you look into the life of Paul, he was saved on the road of Damascus. Acts chapter 9, 19 and 20. As soon as Paul was transformed in Damascus, he tried to preach the gospel. And as a result, there was a threat into his life. The disciples in Damascus, they sneaked him out. Where did he go after this? Galatians chapter 1, verses 17, 18. For 3 years he went to Arabia, desert. Galatians chapter 1. After that 3 years period, he came back to Jerusalem to meet the apostles. And there also he began to share the gospel. He faced the threat there also. Then he took another long period of gap, 14 years. Why do you think that detour? One, he was not ready for the call that God has for his life. Second, the place and the people and the things that he is going to get involved with, they are also not ready. That's why don't put God in your clock. His clock is different from your timing. You better put yourself in the timing of God. Then you will see His glory being manifested through your life. How will you respond in your detours? First, believe in God. Don't doubt Him. Don't criticize Him. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. You may not understand, but still you're saying, I trust you, Lord, because you're faithful. Even when I don't see it's working, even when I don't feel it's working, I know you're working. I know whom I believe, and I'm persuaded that He's able. Romans chapter 8, 28. All things works together for good to them that love Him, who are called according to His purpose. All things. So just believe in God. Secondly, be grateful to God. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 to 20. Be thankful to God in all situations. Always. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Do Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and supplication, present your requests before the Lord with thanksgiving unto the Lord. Let's learn to respond in the detours.